be seated. Before we begin our commencement ceremony, senior class members request all cell phones be silenced and for all guests to remain seated until all class members' names have been called to receive their diplomas. The class of 2021 thanks you in advance for honoring this request. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the class of 2021 commencement ceremony. For those of you who may not know me, my name is Blake Martin, senior class president, and I'm honored to welcome you this morning. I would like to start off by thanking the administration, faculty, alumni, parents, friends, and family for coming out to show your support for this amazing group of students. High school has been an unforgettable journey that has prepared us for the days and years to come. The memories that we've made together over the past few years will stick with us for the rest of our lives. Even though this may be our last time at Coffee High School together, and some of us will go our separate ways, we should not think of this moment as the end, but see it as the beginning of the next chapter in our lives. We all have our own plans for the future, but one thing remains true. Through it all, once a Trojan, always a Trojan. I'm beyond grateful to be a part of one of the most memorable classes to come through Coffee County. Again, welcome to the class of 2021 commencement. And to my fellow classmates, the adventure begins now. Thank you.
At this time, please stand for our presentation of colors and remain standing for our national anthem.
Can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming. And the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Thank you. You may be seated.
Over the past few weeks, graduation has been on all of our minds a lot. I mean, who's not ready to get out of here? We all want to get out of high school and start working on some of our big goals. The only problem is, the path to achieving goals is sometimes unclear. There's a 3-step plan that has helped me tremendously in achieving my goals, and I want to share it with you. These 3 steps are passion, perception, and planning. Firstly, without a strong passion to achieve your goal, it is easy to get comfortable. At the start of working towards my goal of getting a good SAT score, I got lazy, letting other things get between me and my goal. If I continued to goof off, I would have never reached my goal. But luckily, I attained a passion that kept me focused. I did this by constantly thinking about all the benefits this score would give me and constantly repeating them to myself in my head. This might not work for you, but do whatever you have to do to make and keep your goal your passion, because if you do not, you will fail. Secondly, without the correct perception, it is easy to get discouraged. When working towards my SAT goal, I often doubted myself and asked if I was even capable of getting a high score. This thought process makes it easy to give up. I mean, why try to achieve something if you know that you cannot achieve it? This is why you have to change your perception, why you have to know that you are capable of achieving your goal. Proverbs 23:7 sums this up well when it states, "For as he thinks in his heart, so is he." If you do not believe you can achieve your goal, you will not. And finally, without a plan, you will have no clear path to work towards your goal. While this seems obvious, too many of us set goals without setting the plans to achieve them. When creating a plan, ask yourself this question: what do you have to do to get to where you want to go? Create a plan around this and stick to it. No matter what your goal is, remember the 3 steps: passion, perception, and planning. All of you have a goal. Now, what's stopping you from reaching it? Are you not passionate enough about your goal? Do you not perceive yourself as capable of achieving your goal? Or do you lack the necessary planning to work for your goal? Focus on whichever of these you are lacking and work on it. And with that, I love y'all, and I cannot wait to say what you all will accomplish in the future.
These last 4 years of high school have left a mark on us. Moving forward, we can let them define us or we can learn from them. Through hurricanes, presidential elections, and a global pandemic, our graduating class has been tested like no other. But through it all, we leaned on each other and we gained strength to keep going. I won't claim to know each and every one of you personally because I don't, but that doesn't make us complete strangers. Maybe we only sat next to each other for 3 weeks in sophomore geometry class. Maybe we bumped into each other in the crowded halls once during class change. Maybe we only walked past each other once in a while in the hallway and never spoke. But one way or another, all of our paths have crossed. We might not have always gotten along, but that doesn't mean we loved it any less. The Friday nights at Jardine Stadium, the student council meetings, the Trojan trains, the homecomings and proms, the bus rides home from away games, and the lunch periods where we sat and laughed until our stomachs hurt. These are the memories that will stay with us forever. As you go forward in life, whether you're heading to a big university, trade school, the military, or simply wherever the wind takes you, remember to do so with clear eyes and a full heart. Be ready for whatever the world throws at you. And keep going, because contrary to what the world tries to tell you, you don't have to have all the answers right now. It's probably better if you don't. Life is a learning curve, not a test. There isn't an exam at the end, so just keep pushing yourself every day and keep moving forward. The world will change you in ways you would never expect, but you shouldn't fight it. Let it help you grow and mold you into the person you are always meant to be. We have had so many trials in our 4 years here, so don't let them weigh you down, but let them push you forward and be what helps you make this world a better place. I invite everyone to look to those people you can thank and take your time to do so. We wouldn't be here without our supportive parents, family members, and teachers. Although this chapter in our lives has abruptly shut, another has opened, and we can do with it what we want. Every person on this field today should be proud of themselves for everything they have achieved despite all the obstacles that have been thrown our way. The class of 2021 is resilient at its core. The resilience our class has shown is what will keep us bonded together for life. Thank you.
Good morning. As we part our separate ways, let us all remember to not let this be our parking spot. I'd like to tell you about the Honorable Ilhan Omar, who was born and raised in Somalia. And if you know anything about the country, then you know that it's full of dangerous terrorism and extremism to the point where most governments encourage travelers not to even go there. Well, as she had grown up and her family had gotten tired of the treatment of the people in Somalia, so they led her to a refugee camp in Kenya, where they stayed until the United States granted them asylum. She became a United States citizen at the age of 17 and spent the rest of her life in Minnesota, where she became a community organizer and attended North Dakota State University. Today she sits as a member of the United States House of Representatives. Her life holds true that you don't define your end by your beginning. It shows that you don't have to come from wealth to gain it. You don't have to come from the top to get there. If your drive matches your ambition, then you're already in the right direction. You must keep driving down this road called life. Everything you do is not designed to be a success. As the late Herman Cain said, success is not a straight line, it is a zigzag line with lots of ups and downs. Everything you do was not designed to make you happy. Sometimes all of your failures were not failing you, the failure was molding you. Remember that a diamond is formed under great heat and great pressure. As songwriter once penned, millions didn't make it, but I was one of the ones who did. A lot of people didn't make it, some gave up along the way, but you're standing here today because you are a champion. So today, as you leave Coffee High School, moving on to your next step, do not let the enemy run you off the road. One may ask, who is the enemy? Drugs, toxic relationships, gang activities are all works of the enemy, and they are out to crash your success. Let it go today and begin to go for that life you desire. You may not have gotten the grades that you wanted, may not have gotten the state championship that you wanted, may not have completed half of your high school goals, but you made it. Now is the time to let your light shine. Class of 2021, welcome to victory.
Good morning, everyone. It's my pleasure to speak with you as your valedictorian. Well, as one of them anyway. It's pretty weird being up here because, I kid you not, in 4th grade, when I didn't get the highest GPA in my class, I cried the entire assembly. So you got kind of a weird come up there. But I doubt anyone here is interested in a story about a kid in elementary school. So I'd like to revisit our high school years. We spent 3 years here, and a lot of people have very different views on what the high school experience is and how they went through it. I've seen those who couldn't quite get past their good old days of high school, and I've seen those who swore up and down they'd never again return to Coffee County. And after witnessing both of these opposing views, I think I understand what I don't like about them. We shouldn't dwell forever on the past. What's done is done. But we can't just erase our past either. Many memories and experiences last a lifetime, and in high school there's several. Maybe you had a wonderful experience. Plenty of meaningful relationships, high ranking on a sports team, etc. And that's awesome. Maybe you had a bad experience though. You encountered some bad relationships and you worked hard in a class or a sport, but you just couldn't get the results you wanted. And that's okay. Because no matter what kind of journey you went through, you've learned important lessons that will stick with you for your future career, no matter that be the workforce, the military, or going on to higher education. No matter what kind of experience you've had, don't feel regret over your past decisions. Because if you can take something and turn it into a teachable moment, then you haven't failed at all. So in closing, there's no reason to see high school as your glory days, because the lesson it has taught you are meant to drive you so much farther in life. And if those days are forgotten about and abandoned, then those lessons you learned, even the hard way, will disappear as well. We should not cling to the past, but use the wisdom we gained from it well. So thank you so much for being a great audience. It is an honor to speak up here in front of you all, and I wish you the best in the rest of your life.
I want to start off by saying what an honor it is to be standing here in front of you all. We could not have gotten here if it were not because of many of you. To those people, I give a special thanks from all of us. Thank you, families who have always supported us throughout our high school careers. Thank you, teachers, for being willing to lay down your time every day to foster a new generation. Thank you, coaches, for how you've dedicated time outside of school to push us to our limits. Thank you, pastors and other leaders who have nurtured us spiritually. And thank you, God, for sustaining us and placing these individuals in our lives. To my fellow classmates, some of us were once Wildcats. Some of us were once Cardinals, Eagles, Bulldogs, Redskins, Buccaneers, Warriors. But then we started to grow older. We all, eventually, became Trojans and had to come together despite our differences. Over time, we all bonded and became a family, a country, a Trojan country. But like a flash, it's now our time to move on to new things. We're joining new families, and in these families we become Yellow Jackets, Bears, Hawks, Jaguars, Bulldogs, among many others. And these new changes can be quite sad to many of us because it feels as if our family is being split. But the Trojan family cannot be split. Because once you're a Trojan, you're always a Trojan. Our family never disappears, no matter where you are, or where you've been, or what you've done. So to my Trojan family, be joyful today and celebrate the family that God has given us here at Coffee High. I pray that our future families will have an even stronger bond than the one we have here, that all of us do great things in the future. We are a never-ending family, and that is something to be proud about. So I ask you all to flaunt that maroon every day of your life, because we are the Trojans, the mighty, mighty Trojans. I believe that all of us have high potential, and I want you all to succeed. So I leave you some wise words as you make some very important decisions in the near future. It's a quote from the great abolitionist and preacher, Charles Spurgeon. Of two evils, choose neither.
I always knew this day would come. We'd be standing one by one, with our future in our hands. So many dreams, so many plans. Always knew after all these years, there'd be laughter, there'd be tears. I never thought I'd walk away with so much joy, with so much pain. It's so hard to say goodbye. Yesterday's gone, we've gotta keep moving on. I'm so thankful for the moments, so glad I got to know you. The times that we had, I'll keep like a photograph and hold you in my heart forever. I'll always remember you. Na 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 na, na 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 na, na 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 na.
Another chapter in the book. Can't go back, but you can look. And there we are on every page. Memories I'll always stay.
Up ahead, only open doors. Who knows what we're headed towards? I wish you love, I wish you luck. For you the world just opens up. It's so hard to say goodbye. Yesterday's gone, we've gotta keep moving on. I'm so thankful for the moments, so glad I got to know you. The times that we had, I'll keep like a photograph. Hold you
To my WRCCA seniors, I am proud to be your principal. This is the largest graduating class in the history of the Career Academy. 68 seniors, with 9 honor graduates, a valedictorian and salutatorian, both of which have already graduated from South Georgia State College with an Associate of Science in Biology. It is amazing the success this class has had over the past 4 years. Almost every one of you will leave here with a credential that will benefit you in the next phase of your life. You are prepared to do whatever comes your way. Whether you enter the workforce, join the military, or go on to find your way in a continued education, you are prepared. I want to commend you on this very important milestone in life. This may be the end of one chapter, but there is so much more to come. Today, I want you to reflect on your journey to this point. Think about the trials and triumphs. You have already overcome so much. You survived a year that no one expected or was even prepared for. You persevered to make your graduation happen. Many of you know your plans for the future, and those of you who are still unsure, that's okay. One of my favorite quotes is from Steve Jobs. The only way to do great work is to love what you do. If you haven't found it yet, keep looking. Don't settle. As with all matters of the heart, you'll know when you find it. Keep searching until you find the job that you love. There are so many opportunities available just waiting for you to grasp a hold of. Slow down and enjoy this moment. Recognize what really matters and dismiss that does not. Embrace your future with all that you have. You are prepared for the next step. Today is your day. Class of 2021, go forth and do great things.
Good morning. To start off, I'd like to thank all the parents and family and friends that's come out here today for all their hard work. Graduates, I know y'all are glad to be finishing up. But most importantly, I want to thank God for all that He's done. He's got us through all these years of high school, and I thank Him for all that He's done. But today I'd like to share with each and every one of you present today and remind you that we ain't finished here. We've completed our high school education and a big chapter in our lives, but it's not the end. It's just the beginning. We are entering into a new chapter in our lives, and each and every one of us will go on to be something different in life, and some of us will continue our education. Some of us will be teachers, doctors, lawyers, preachers, but we're entering into a new chapter, and we may not ever see each other again, but that's okay. But we will have one thing in common altogether. We'll be moving forward. The Bible says in Job chapter 17 that the righteous keep moving forward and those with clean hands become stronger and stronger. I think it's appropriate today that we ask ourselves, what expectations do we have for ourselves now that we've graduated? One thing you can ask yourself is, am I graduating because it's a tradition and expected of me, or am I graduating because I have expectations for my life? Am I graduating as a tradition just because mama did, or daddy did, or grandma did, or grandpa did, or just because my friends did? Or are you graduating with expectations as to move forward, as to do something greater in your life? And one thing I want to ask you is, do you want to be someone great and be someone that no one will ever forget? Please, fellow graduates, take my advice. Do not graduate just to be graduating. Graduate with honor and pride and do something in your life. Put God first more than anything and lean on Him and the people around you. As you can see, you need to keep hitting life with all that you have and keep pushing forward. God shuts doors when it's time to move on, and He knows you will not move on unless your circumstances compel you to. Seniors, you won't be able to start the next chapter of your life if you keep rereading the last one. Now's the time to go forward and write your own book. Graduates, it's a new chapter. Go out, write your own book. I thank all y'all. I love y'all. Go Trojans.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Roland Cummings. I'm the principal of Coffee High School. And on behalf of the faculty and staff and the class of 2021, welcome to our commencement ceremony. At this time, I would like to recognize our school board members. First, Ms. Tanya Wilkerson. Mr. Adam Lott. Mr. Brian Preston. Mr. Jesse Jowers. Mr. Gene Wade. Our superintendent, Dr. Morris Lees. Assistant Superintendent, Ms. Kim Miller. Assistant Superintendent, Dr. James Banks, Jr. Our elementary school principals, Ambrose, Dr. Mary Vickers. Broxton, Ms. Tina Sapp. Eastside, Ms. Amy Vining. Indian Creek, Ms. Tamara Morgan. Nichols, Ms. Lori Bratcher. Satilla, Mr. Lee Mobley. West Side, Ms. Wendy Jowers. In West Green, Mr. Alan Chansey. Our middle school principal, Ms. Sherry Berry. George Washington Carver Freshman Campus, Mr. Abe Morris. Assistant Principal, Ms. Tammy Hill. Principal of the Alternative Program, Ms. Tanya LaSure. And the Academy Principal you've already heard from, Ms. Pam Smith. Coffee High School Administration, Dr. Lee Lang. CTA Director, Ms. Rhonda Dorsey. Assistant Principal, Ms. Anastasia Carter. Assistant Principal, Ms. Melody Williams. Assistant Principal, Mr. Van Allen. And Athletic Director, Mr. Randy Garrett. Now first, class of 2021, I made this a tradition. I think we need to continue to do that. First, we must honor all those who made this day possible. With the entire audience on both sides, please stand. With the entire audience on both sides, please stand. Graduates, at this time, make contact and point to those loved ones and those that are watching on live stream. Take a good look at these people. They've encouraged you, they've heard about you, they provided for you. Most importantly, they prayed for you, and they love you. You did not get here by yourself. Now let them know how much you appreciate them with a great round of applause. Thank you very much. Now at this time, with all my men and women serving in the military or have served in the military, please stand. All our law enforcement officers, first responders, please stand at this time. These folks never get enough credit for all they do. Let's give them a hearty round of applause, please. Now, obviously it's hot, and I can see from the fans over here on my left, and all the fans going in the audience and on the field, obviously the people on the right, this is not your first rodeo. You know where to sit for this ceremony. Great job. Also, I can see from my fellow colleagues over here, they're blocking the sun with their whatever they can find. So we're going to get out of here quickly, but we're going to say what needs to be said about this class. Education is a K-12 process. Every single teacher these students have ever had plays a part in this. So now all my colleagues, if you're a teacher, please stand at this time in the Coffee County School System. All my great colleagues of the Coffee County School System, please stand. Thank you. Now, understand, we just went through a COVID year. If you didn't know then, you certainly know now how important these people are. These people went above and beyond, and teachers all over America experience the same thing. So everyone now, I think, have a much greater appreciation for the job that teachers do. Well, let me tell you a little bit about this class and honoring these graduates. Sitting before you have 453 graduates, 88 honor graduates. Some will enroll in a 4-year college or university. Others will enroll in a 2-year college or a technical school. A significant number will honor their country and serve in the military. Let's give them a great hand. And others indicated they'll enter into the workforce. In this senior class, all their athletic teams have advanced to the state playoffs. As a competitive group, I would put this Coffee High group of seniors against any school in the state of Georgia. They've been recognized in band, choral competitions throughout the state. Graduates in the career and technical education programs have earned distinction at the regional and state levels. This group of seniors have held their own against competition with students all over the country. The students you see sitting before you have held leadership positions in the region, state, and national level. And the class of 2021 has 21 recipients of the Zell Miller Scholarship. This scholarship is awarded to students with at least a 3.7 grade point average and a score of at least 1,200 on the ACT or 1,200 on the SAT and 26 on the ACT. This class has 6 advanced placement scholars. These students have scored 3 or higher on 3 or more advanced placement exams. Overall, it's estimated this class has been awarded scholarships close to $2 million. They have given back in their community by accumulating countless community service hours. And to cap off their high school experience, for the 9th year, this class took one last field trip back to elementary schools. And ladies and gentlemen, I believe in protocol, I believe in routine, I believe in consistency. And like to describe a typical morning at Coffee High School, after the Pledge of Allegiance, and our students still respect the flag and stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, you'll hear these words. Good morning, Coffee High School. This is Roland Cummings, your principal, with the inspirational quote for today. Class of 2021. It's the last time you're going to hear my voice. I would like to give you some final precious nuggets of wisdom. And after thinking about what I would talk about today, and I'm going to keep it brief and short, I understand it's hot, but I have just thought about one thing that all students must have, and all people must have, and that's grit. And the other thing is grind. You got to have grit, and you got to be able to grind if you're going to succeed in life. Grit is said is, to sum it up, passion and perseverance in service of a long-term goal. It's a marathon, not a sprint. As they say, in other words, gritty people put in sustained effort over time to achieve a high level of success in their chosen domain. Now the key is, how do you develop grit? Some things I've understood. If you're born, just a miracle of the conception of birth, you have grit. You have grit just because you're on this earth and you were born. Also, you've developed grit early on, just things like learning how to walk. Remember, as a child, learning how to walk. That took grit, because why? Because you didn't succeed at first. Riding a bicycle. Most of you were not successful. You even had to have training wheels. You developed grit. In your second grade, whatever grade it was, when you learned how to read, you had to develop grit because you had to keep trying. And many of your teachers had to develop a tremendous amount of grit to keep teaching it. Also, when you got into further your education, you got into the high school level, your coaches, your teachers, your parents, all played a part in grit. When you look for grit, it's all around you. It's all around you. You don't have to look forward to see examples of grit. Athletes, bands, singers. You all must develop grit in order to make it. Dr. Leese and I had a conversation yesterday, and it was so true, and he made a profound statement about a book he read. He said, you cannot climb a smooth mountain. You cannot climb a smooth mountain. When I thought about that and did a little bit of research, realizing that all these mountains in the world have peaks, and they have valleys, they have cracks, they have crevices. And the reason they are there because for people to grab onto, to pull themselves up and to pull themselves through. So understand that there's going to be ups and downs in life. Life is not lived on a flat plane. If you're living your life on a flat plane, you're not accomplishing much, and it doesn't matter much. But if you're trying to climb to higher heights, you're going to have to develop grit. And you got it. You just have to call on it. Begin. It's deeper than inside you, and you have to call on it because you developed it over your whole life. The next thing you're going to have to do, you're going to have to grind. Now, when I looked up grind means, break bigger pieces into smaller pieces, to rub something together, create friction. And one of the things I understand, when you grind something, you do create friction, you create heat. When you heat something up, things begin to move. It's amazing, you can shape things when you get them hot. sparks start to fly. When you have grit, and when you have grind. Now, the Urban Dictionary calls grind something else, and I won't discuss that here. But anyway, it's simple. You have to have that grit, and you have to get up every morning, every day, ready to grind, go to work, get something done. Many of you have heard that story about the gazelle and the lion on the plains of Africa. Because every morning, gazelle wakes up and a lion wakes up, and that lion thinks he's got to be, or she has to be, faster than the slowest gazelle. And the gazelle thinks they have to be faster than the slowest lion. But another way to look at that, all you got to do is be faster than the slowest gazelle. Think about that. So class of 2021, I'm going to leave you with something. Grit and grind. If you have those two things, you'll be a success in life no matter what you do. Because I'm telling you something, life is not lived on a flat surface. They talked about it earlier. You're going to be able to have grit, stick to it, perseverance, dedication, follow through on everything you start and do. And you're going to have to get up every morning and you're going to have to run. Because something's going to be chasing you every single day. One of the things I discovered when I was growing up, my dad, he didn't take vacations. His idea of killing time was to work it to death. So understand what it is to grind and understand what it is to have grit. Class of 2021, you've been an outstanding group of young people. You've overcome great odds. You've overcome great obstacles. And you've almost finished. And you're going to be a success no matter what you do. And it says earlier, once a Trojan, always a Trojan. I want you to always remember that. And when you just made your first million, don't forget about Coffee High School. I appreciate you. I love you. You're going to do great things. And I'm looking forward to hearing about the things that you go on and do. I appreciate you. Now, Dr. Lees, at this time, I do certify that these graduates have met all the requirements set forth by the State Board of Education and the Coffee County Board of Education. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the class of 2021. Thank you very much.
By virtue of the authority vested in me by the state of Georgia, the State Board of Education, the Coffee County Board of Education, and the recommendation by the administration of the Coffee County School System, I hereby certify that you have met all the requirements necessary for a diploma and admit to you all its rights, honors, privilege, and obligations. Congratulations to the class of 2021. Mr. Vickers, please call the graduates.
Patrick Scott Ferris Jr. Cameron Blake Watson. Joseph Craig Deloach. Payne Alexander Geiger. Brianna Karen Spires. Cameron Blake Minix. Jessica Alvarez. Jackson Daniel Lott. Jesus Osvaldo Jimenez. Kelly Renee Daniels. Noah Airy Saylor. Justin Raymond Wright Jr. Andrew Macaulay Johnson. Cynthia Yareli Tenejero Saenz. Emma Jade Kramer. Nicholas Cade Thompson. Nicholas Blake Martin. Graduated from SGSC with an Associates of Science in Business Administration with honors. Brenda Marlene Martinez Sanchez. Ruth Pragnesh Patel. Mallory Elizabeth Green. Mason Joseph Hutchison. William Tony Smith.
Madison Lee Strickland, Ashley Gabriela Iraheta, Natalie Lynn Grantham, Hannah Mirand Spivey, Amber Renee Goff, Gracie Aniston Myers, graduated from SGSC with an Associates of Arts in General Studies with honors. Rachel Lauren Griffin, Patrick Raymond Fletcher, Dalen Jean Douglas, Sydney Hood, Tuan An Mai, Faith Alexandria Davis, graduated from SGSC with an Associates of Arts in General Studies. Wendy Paola Garcia, William Garrett Mansell, graduated from SGSC with an Associates of Science in Allied Health with honors. Akshar Yogesh Kumar Patel, graduated from SGSC with an Associates of Science in Business Administration with honors. Judy Andrea Tizzle, Bailey May Kerlock, Trevor Daniel Gruska, Ben Abram Lingenfelter, Victoria Isabella Pierce, Reagan Olivia Thomas, Claire Maxine Harper, Trinity Lillian Coley, graduated from SGSC with an Associates of Science in Allied Health. Whitney Joanne Calhoun, Savannah Madison Porter, Mason Kevin Dill, Dawson Craig Miller, graduated from SGSC with an Associates of Arts in Criminal Justice with honors. Brooklyn Nicole Peavy, Kylie Ray Adams, Aaliyah Jade Oglesby, Lindy Bryn Carver, Emily Diane Merritt, Heather Mahaley Osteen, Jacelyn Annalise Wiggins, graduated from SGSC with an Associates of Arts in General Studies with honors. Kyle Luke Waldron, Jeffrey Hayden Weems, Rhett William Holly, Dylan Benjamin Davis, Vance Corbin Sumner, Jordan Lee Barton, Kenya Mariel Torres Salazar, Alexandra Nicole Vaughn, Daniela Catherine Lugo, Faith Ann Durham, Maddox Shane Shook, Jakiviana Catrella Lorenzi Ross, Joel Christian Wilkes, Andrea De Jesus Garcia, Joelle Eve Marshall, Keat An Mai, Tatiana Sashay Jones, Tamaya Heaven Rhodes, graduated from SGSC with an Associates of Arts in General Studies. Aaron Marley Tucker, Zachary Miles Bidding, Abigail Elizabeth Merritt, Abigail Rachel Vaughn, Cheyenne Elizabeth Lowe, Emily Faith Winters, Garrett Andrew Collier, Anila S. James, Kimberly Diane Gomez, Laura Mackenzie Meeks, Estefany De Jesus, Haley Jamil Sears, Brady Richard Lott, graduated from SGSC with an Associates of Science in Biology with honors. Jonathan Lee Sayer, graduated from SGSC with an Associates of Science in Biology with honors. Katie Lynn Acock, Isis Alondra Estrada, Juanita Guadalupe Duque, Jalissa Camacho, Giselle Castro Camacho, Ilea Adriana Saffold, Jaden Grace Lee, Trinity Trinia Ackerman, Brennan Joshua Adams, Clarence Donnell Adams Jr., Faith Renee Monet Adams, Ladestiny Elisha Monet Adams, Joseph Stephen Aldridge Jr., Nayeli Jacqueline Alvarado, Aubrey Rain Amerson, Zachary Tyler Anderson, Joseph Daniel Andrews, Shakiria Taishe Armstead, Jaden Reese Arvidsson, Zykeria Alexis Ashford, Jerry Bernard Bailey Jr., Bryce Randall Banks, Ritus Carl Barnes IV, Shania Danielle Beavers, Jakira Alexis Bell, Alan Miguel Beltran, Samantha Benitez, Colton Gage Bennett, Diasia Renee Bennett, Jaslyn Zykeria Bennett, Marquitius Kinshay Bice, Jeremiah Earl Boatwright, Kian Raymond Joseph Bolin, Essence Shania Bowler, Emily Grace Boykin, Jeremiah Javante Brantley, Jada Valencia Brown, Caitlin Rose Birch, Macy Michaela Birch, Tillman Michaela Birch, Jacqueline Kate Burkhalter, Urban Leonardo Caballero, Zadrian Decorius Campbell, Andric Alonso Carvajal España, Joseph Thomas Carlin, Grace Lee Carver, Haley Taylor Carver, Mercedes Natalie Castor, Caitlin Faye Cato, Zidlali Cepeda, Linda Jimena Cervantes Silva, Thomas Lindsay Cheney, Ariana Shadiamond Chestnut, Celeste Xaviera Churchill, Camille Nicole Clemens, Brian Keith Colbert, Jamal Avery Colson, Mackenzie Danielle Conway, Zachary Byron Cooper, Brenton Matthew Corley, Emily Lanice Corson, Ethan Anthony Corson, Zane Reed Cumbus, Ayana Ashantis Daniels, Kashaya Egyptia Daniels, Kenneth Demetrius Davis Jr., Trenton Andrew Davis, Trinity Danae Davis, Jones Yaden Day, Nicholas Allen Deck, Aileen Lisbeth De Jesus, Leslie Yatira De Jesus, Johnny Anthony De Jesus, Jenny Suburban Delgado, Jocelyn Delgado, Cynthia Giselle Diaz, Cheyenne Kylie Dodson, Brian Dominguez, Jamie Roxana Dominguez, Takaya Deshaya Dunham, Takaya Deshaya Dunham, Samira Randrika Dunson, Ernest Jerron Edwards, Joshua Michael Ellis Jr., Taylor Nicole Ellis, Jillian Mabel Elwell, Esley Karina Escobar, Anna Christina Espinoza, Kinzavian Rayshawn Evans, Shelby Colleen Evers, Jacob David Fielding, Philip Jaquel Finney Jr., Adron Wiley Fletcher, Jake Henry Fletcher, John Anthony Flores, Zaria Ajane Floyd, Michaela Ann Fowler, Isaac Friday, Micaiah Nashe Franklin, Kendracia Kiabian Jada Fussell, Esmeralda Galvan, Rihanna Xaviera Gamble, Ricardo Garcia, Tamara Brachet Gaskins, Kalia Lorenze Gibson, Jesselyn Bell Giddens, Brooklyn Rain Gilliard, Kirsten Leanne Gilliard, Cameron Drew Gillis, Reagan Lee Given, Isaiah Keyshawn Goodwin, William Timothy Gorley, Eric Morel Grady Jr., Patrick Bernard Grady Jr., Jalel Quashad Graves, Austin Sage Gray, Sage Austin Gray, Cameron Bryce Greer, Brendan Dakota Griffin, Katie Alyssa Griffin, James Antoine Griggs Jr., Collier Peyton Guess, Blake Andrew Haley, India Chambry Hall, Antonio Takeas Javon Hamilton, Timothy Gage Harper, Anaya Janae Harris, Jerry Foster Harris, Matthew Wayne Hathaway, Nathan Malo Hadaway, Yolanda Oiva Celeste Hawkins, Christian Kenneth Hernandez, Christopher Adam Hernandez, Catherine Nicole Herrera Baca, Chance Avel Grant Herring, Chase Avram Wardell Herring, Easton Cole Herring, Kayla Ann Hersey, Ansley Rachel Hill, Evan Carter Hill, Ruben Alex Hill, Vashon Jacori Hill, Paige Elizabeth Hogan, Emily Grace Holland, Christina Elaine Holland, Ansley Cheyenne Hollinger, Emma Nicole Hollis, Nathaniel Lee Hewlett, Andrew Dalton Hutto, Javion Anquan Quayshawn Ingram, Carly Ray Jackson, Travaris DeAnthony Jackson, Zykeria Kenyana Jackson, Kaylee Elizabeth Johnson, Marquavius Tyreek Johnson, Amari Lakeith Jones, Ansley Faith Jordan, Cambry Ariana Jordan, Emma Kate Joyce, Jahim Avante Carmelo Killebrew, Macy Caroline Kirkland, Danielle Shanani Knighton, Kevin Tan La, Zaikashie Maraker Lynette Lane, Kaylee Elizabeth Laster, Jagger Hayden Levins, Kaylee Willow Ledbetter, Michael Gerald Leggett II, Samaya Mainavea Leggett, Ayana Lachey Lester, Noah Carter Lindsay, Tyresa Geneva Littleton, Karina Lisette Lopez, Bailey Mackenzie Lott, Kendall Elise Lott, Cody Lane Maddox, Kelsey Diane Mallory, Holly Gabrielle Mann, Rachel Athena Manos, Maria Elizabeth Martin, Haley Herminia Ortiz, Jocelyn Martinez, Eder Martinez Lazaro, Cameron Blaine Mattis, Oscar Isaias Mazariegos, Christopher Jordan Mays, Jamie Shaquela Nikosha McCrae, Eric Thomas McIver, Isabella Colette McKinnon, Gavin Ian McClendon. Marlena Kathleen McQueen. Aries Christian McCrae. Sandy Kijanette McCrae. Savion Jamal McCrae. Zykeria Oceana Dariana McCrae. JC Brooke McSwain. Victor Kevin Mendoza. Aniston Marie Mercer. Evan Sean Merritt. Kimberly Ann Merritt. Joshua Hunter Milholland. Barry Jamal Miller. Logan Luke Miller. Shamar Lamont Gerard Mintz. Savion Laporte Mitchell. Ariel Kalia Mobley. Jacoby Caleb Moore. Alexia Diana Moreno. Bruce Dawson Morris. Layla Diane Mosier. Briley Jade Moxley. Parker Quinn Mullis. Jason Emmanuel Murray Jr. Colby Dylan Music. Christina May Musselwhite. Efrain Jordan Najarro. Eric Nahera Miranda. Camila Guadalupe Nava. Logan Gage Newhart. Carson Monroe Nugent. Jose Nunez Rocha. Karime Ortiz. Daniel Osonio Garcia. Ishmael Ovalle Jr. Graduated from SGSC with an Associates of Science in Business Administration. Tayel Oyanshe Pace. Leslie Dariana Palma. Clarence Cardle Hawk Jr. Isaiah Tyreek Paul. Marquavius Devon Hawk. Ahijah Karan Payne. Madison Christine Payne. Preston Lee Pegues. Aaron William Persons. Ariana Cedricana Kiasha Powell. Martin Javon Powell. Unica Quateria Powell. Gerardo Alonso Ramirez. Liutze Karime Ramirez. Lindy Ruth Reagan. Jennifer Renee Rio. Carrie Antoni Reeves. Aaron Michael Reed. Jamarian Okoye Reed. Zyshawn DeQuavius Reed. Jacob Miguel Reynoso. Violeta Francesca Reynoso. Jesus Augustine Riano. Kenaya Shanae Richardson. Kayla Elise Ricketson. Natasia Kaviana Riles. Aaliyah A Miracle Ringo. Jasmine Nicole Rios. Humberto Rivas Jr. Joel Randall Roberts. Michael Wayne Roberts. Niteria Benaya Robertson. Lisbeth Annalie Rodas. Mike Alexander Rodriguez. Stacy Dean Rodriguez. Jennifer Rosales. Alexander Joseph Sanchez. Daniela Victoria Sanchez. Christian Ronaldo Santos. Lily Catherine Self. Katie Leanne Chateau. Daniel Amari Silva. Casey Adriana Silver. Zykeria Elaine Sims, Alden Lee Smith, Briley River Smith, Daikirian Monque Smith, Michaela Kenyon Smith, Nolan Allen Smith, Shantieja Ajani Sparkman, Cadence Elena Spivey, Joshua Daniel Spivey, Antiana Ashanti Ariance Degal, Isabella Annalise Stevens, Shakira Avriana Stewart, Jason Harley Stone, Justin Ashley Strickland, Arlis Joydon Jacavis Sutton, Rishanti Tamia Sutton, Jabria Nikiria Swanson, Alexis Marie Sweat, graduated from SGSC with an Associates of Arts in General Studies. Sarah Melinda Sweat, Taylor Ashley Swinson, Khalees Ajalan Tanksley, Christopher Malachi Tanner, Gerardo Tinajero, Diana Nicole Tinajero Castillo, Leon Lacriante Toombs, Yelitza Tovar Salazar, Shania Natrice Traylor, Kentavious Rashad Troutman, Elijah Morris Turk, Gracie Faith Turner, Jabez Antoine Turner, Brian Valle, Riley Anna Vickers, Waylon Kenneth Vickers, Araceli Villa Gomez, Nathan Marshall Vining, Frank Edwin Wade, Bryce William Walker, Kalia Chantel Walker, Tykeria Nyasia Walker, Kevis Tremaine Washington Jr., Jasmine and Tanisha Watts, Walker Peyton Wheelis, Gabriel Ashton White, Timothy Dalton Whitley, Jonathan Gary Eugene Whitaker, Nigel Zakel Wilcox, Adrian Carnell Wilkerson Jr., Ty Brooks Wilkes, Adrian Jamonte Williams, Ayana Gabriella Williams, Ijela Ashanti Williams, Cedric Ajarian Williams, Samaj Wallet Williams, Walter James Williams II, Brandon Emery Neal Williamson, Xavier Keyshawn Wilson, Hunter Levon Wood, Kimberly Michelle Woods, Heidi Elizabeth Woodward, Richard Scott Wooten, William Anthony Wooten, Aaron Michael Works, Jordan Wesley Wright, Tatiana Nicole Wright, Chelsea Rose Yawn, Heidi Brianna Yawn, Kieran Deshawn Smith,
The class of 2021 would like the opportunity to celebrate this day with one last song with their classmates. After the songs, the gates on all sides will be open. The gates on all sides will be open at the completion of their song. At this time, seniors, please face your audience. Stand and face your audience. You may turn your tassels. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to present to you the graduates of the class of 2021.